Whew. Boy, it's cold outside. Oh, that snow just keeps on coming. Oh, hello. Didn't see you here. Yeah, just got back from another day of classes. It's been a busy semester so far. You know, going for education, teaching, it's a lot of work. But I've been learning so much to become a better teacher. I'm really excited to see what I can do. But first of all, I want to talk a little bit about this class that I just got. You know, tomorrow it's its last day, and I just wanted to share why I think that class called Adolescent Literacy Methods, what that class has really brought to me as a teacher. You know, thinking about that, there's so many ways, different perspectives on how to become a better teacher, and there's, you know, just think about it. There's all sorts of different teachers out there. Each one has their own perspective on it. So, you know, thinking about it, I'm going to come at it my own perspective. How should I make literacy relevant in my class? And how can I make it the best possible way for children to learn from literacy? Now we gotta first ask the real question, what is literacy? Well, it could be anything. Any sorts of books, articles, movies, documentaries, podcasts, YouTube videos, anything really that can be used for your topic, and that's literacy. Literacy can be anything that you want, really. But like, what's the purpose of it if kids come away after doing whatever type of literacy you're using, and you talk about it, and they don't really get anything out of it? Well, that's called engagement. You have to have this thing called engagement, obviously, that I just stated, that students will remember this stuff. For example, I have read a lot of books. I mean, I've done a lot of readings for classes. High school, college. I've been told to read stuff. Read it. Take some notes on it. It's going to be on the test. Okay. I do that. I read and I take notes. And then I take the test. And now, thinking back at it, could I remember a single thing I did with that? No. I couldn't even probably tell you what the reading was. Same thing for movies, TV. You could put a show or a movie on in the background, go off and not really pay attention to it. Are you engaging at that? Will you remember the movie, TV show? What happens? What's the plot? What are the characters? Probably not. Your mind is elsewhere. You're not engaging with it. If you're engaging with the movie, let's say you're invested in next week, there's a movie called Star Wars coming out, Rise of Skywalker. I'm very excited. I'm very engaged in that. I read articles, I do theories, I play video games, I read comics, I go to Comic Cons. I'm engaged with that brand, topic, story. And I could tell you anything about it. Same thing kind of applies to school. Whether you're learning English, history, math, social studies, or science. You have to have the students engaged in order for them to remember it. If they're not engaged with it, they'll never take anything about it. And what you should really focus when engaging students is, what is the purpose and why do you want them to remember something? Sometimes the article or story is not the most important thing that they remember what they're reading. It's why they're reading it. and what skills that they're going to take away from it. So we have to think of ways of engagement. And that could be all sorts of different things. I mean, throughout this course that I've taken in adolescent literacy methods, we've gone through all these different demo lessons. And in these demo lessons, a lot of them I really enjoy. Will all of them make it into my class? Probably not. Only a select few. Some fit with certain units, some don't. Some may be fun, some won't. We gotta pick out what's fun and engaging. We can't just have them do stuff to do stuff. Because if they're just doing stuff, they're not gonna have any fun with it. If I tell them, read this book, and we don't know tell them, oh, answer these questions. We have them somewhat engaging into the reading. We have them analyzing, oh, who's the main characters? We have them find that, the plot, the setting. But will it help them remember it a little bit more? Yes, instead of just having them read it. But is it fun? Is it something that they're looking forward to do? I know I go to work. I work at Festival Foods. I go in there and do my job. I get it done. Do I have fun all the time doing it? No. Do I remember those nights? No. But sometimes when you do the job and you're having fun with it, you remember those nights. Those times with those coworkers, sometimes there's an experience that you have that you just won't forget. It's just like pictured into your head. You gotta create those memories with the students. Now, not every lesson is gonna be like that. But when you have certain aspects of, like, you're watching a movie or something, have something that's engaging with them. Or something that they'll remember. Don't just have them do something to do it and they're engaging. Try to make it memorable. They're not going to take anything away if you're just, oh, do this or do that. And, you got to have them take something away from it. So let's take a look at some activities that I believe are good activities to have when you're dealing with literacy. As you know, as kids, especially a guy like me who hates reading a lot, I don't just volunteer to read. I need to know a purpose of why we're reading it. So I think that's a very important thing to talk to your students, is why you're doing it in the first place. And then find an activity that I said engagement. I've been saying engagement a lot because that's really the whole purpose of it. But like something that they're invested into. Let's look at something. These are from the Subject Matters book. I'm just gonna go through and see which ones I kind of like. Let's think. Let me see. Well, I'll just start with the one I chose. This is an odd one, and I don't think many students would like it because it's a presentation based, but there's some that do. See, you gotta have this variety when you're doing activities. Some like individual work. Do individual work. You gotta know your students. If they're introverted, extroverted, you gotta know what type of students they are before you start doing activities. Sometimes you have a class that's really engaging and is talking in group settings and all that stuff. They seem to be very outgoing, and there's some classes that just won't say a peep. So you gotta kind of get the feel of the class too. And sometimes they have a lot of good ideas, they're just not wanting to say it out loud so they won't get embarrassed. That was me. I had all these ideas back in the day, but I wouldn't say it because I didn't want to sound stupid if I was on the wrong track. But I like ones like this, tweet the text. It's relevant to them because Twitter is big. Social media is a big thing. Either create a Twitter page for your class or just, have them write down on Google Docs. Going back to the one I did. Dramatic role play. That is a fun, memorable activity. You have them predict what they're going to do or review why some characters chose what they did and get different perspectives on it, so they are thinking about, oh yeah, that was a good point, or I never really thought of that before. And then you add the entertaining aspect of everyone kind of sucks at acting, so let's just, have some fun with it. Now, not everyone, like when I did my demo lesson, I begged to have people do it, but of course no one really wanted to do it, which I figured. I got some groups to do it, but not too many. Then there's another one. Oh, what was it? What's it called? Password? Yes, Password. Now that's fun. I like games. I'm a game person. I know not everyone's like this, but I find games very engaging. I like the competitive spirit comes out of me. I'm a very laid back person, but that drive to winning, give me a Kahoot and I will know nothing about the topic, but I want to become a quick expert so I can win Kahoot. Password, it's just a fun game. As a kid, I remember, I'm thinking back to myself, and this might not apply to everyone. As a kid, I remember the days we played games, had moving activities. Me reading the text and just writing notes on it or answering questions, I can't remember that stuff. But if there's something that we're doing hands-on, I know this is kind of everyone's a different learner, but if it's an experience that you remember, then you'll always remember why and what you're kind of doing. It's like Christmas. If you didn't have presents and family getting together and all that stuff, it would just be another day. But since you make something special out of it, it's memorable. Same thing applies to literacy. Make it special, make it memorable. And that's how you'll get the students to remember either what you want with the content or the process you're trying to teach them. So that's my thoughts about that. Let me see. Let me look at the criteria here. Let's see. How do I plan to engage my students? Well, I think I made that clear. Why is it critical to engage students in the process? Well, I told you, it's basically remembering. I mean, you won't remember if you don't engage. I mean, it's that simple. One last thing. Do it in all sorts of ways. Don't do it all the same, because then it's the same thing. I could play games every day, but then it becomes the norm. And do you remember the norm? No, it's just another day. I mean, some games are more fun than others, but if you do a game every day, just another game. It's like playing Monopoly 1,000 times in a row. Would you remember how many times you won? No, it'd just be all the same. So you gotta switch it up. Do different types of literacy, either videos or readings or not video podcasts, but just podcasts in general. Switch that up. Do different activities or different things. Even if you do a worksheet, make a partner group, or maybe that class just wants to have individual